So as we have completed servlet technology for generation of the dynamic content in the web pages. So we'll be having other technology also be there in Java side for generation of dynamic content from the server side to the client. So there is another one. So Java server pages. The acronym, the word is shortcut word is JSP, Java server pages. It is advanced technology from the servlet itself. Okay. So we'll be having some advantages is there while we are using JSP over servlets. We'll discuss all these things. So far, as per the syllabus of our advanced Java lab, so up to 10 experiments have been completed. 7, 8, 9, 10 experiments are related to servlets. Okay, so please be ready with implementation of the 7, 8, 9, 10 experiments. At any time, I will ask you, so you have to present, you have to be ready to give the presentation of 7, 8, 9, 10 experiments. I don't give the time at all. So, one day before or 2 days before, I will inform you to give the presentation of 7, 8, 9, 10, and I will ask you randomly. So you have to be ready with giving the presentation of 7, 8, 9, 10 experiments. Okay, so they are related to the servlets. And 11, 12 are related to JSP technologies. Okay, so before going to the experiments and demonstration of the programs using JSP, so first of all, how it will be look like and how to write the programs, how to implement the JSP programs, and the differences between servlets and JSPs and advantages and the benefits of the JSPs over servlets we have to discuss. Okay. So the JSPs generally will be having a simple definition is there for Java server pages. The definition is very simple. Generally, it is a server-side technology by which we can able to generate a dynamic content over the websites. And the dynamic content generation related code should be included or should be embedded into HTML code itself. That is a simple definition of a JSPs. Okay, so it is a server-side technology which can able to generate dynamic content by using Java programs, by implementing Java programs, and that kind of Java programs we can able to embed into HTML related code itself. That is a simple definition of Java server pages. So here, as we are embedding the JSP code into the HTML, so can you please tell me how the HTML code look like? How the HTML code look like?
In JavaScript, sir.
How we are writing HTML code? What HTML code contains?
Tags, sir.
Very good.
Tags, sir.
Very good, very good. Tags. So HTML look like it contains different kinds of tag-oriented instructions in the HTML5. Okay. So as we are embedding the JSP code inside the HTML also, so that JSPs are which contains different kinds of tags we can embed or we can insert into HTML code itself. Okay, so similar to the HTML, it contains different kinds of tags. So we have to learn the tags, and each and every tag will be able to generate a dynamic content inside the website system. So that's only the definition for JSPs. It is a JSP processing. You see, so here the middle one, what I am showing you is HTML JSP code. So JSP code itself contains inside HTML code. So that starts with HTML and body, and this is the code for JSP's dynamic content. And at last, body and HTML code is close. Okay. So the dynamic content which will be executed by the server. Okay. See how the dynamic content which contains the JSP tags. Okay. In the next code block, so which contains in the place of dynamic content, so there is a JSP related code is there, and that JSP code will be executed by the server. Okay. So once that JSP code is executed, so then we'll get one content, one kind of content. That content will be there in the HTML file itself. Okay. So so advantages of servlets over JSPs over servlets. Okay. So you see one by one point, it is hard to write and maintain the HTML. So generally, we are writing dynamic content, or we are writing simply in the servlet technology. So I will tell you a simple point itself. We are writing HTML content in the Java code. Am I right or not, the students? We are writing several out.printlns in the servlet code. For writing HTML code or for generating the dynamic content as a response. So we need to write several out.printlns, and inside the printlns we are writing HTML code itself. Okay. And this HTML code we are writing inside the Java program. Am I right? Okay. But the thing is, writing the Java code, okay, most of the students can, are feeling that writing the Java code is very difficult task. If we compare with writing the HTML code, writing the Java code, it feels difficult for the students itself. Otherwise, for most of the persons, okay. So Java syntax, as Java syntax is more complex to use for writing the program, then compare it, than writing HTML code itself. Okay. So that, but here in the JS space, we are writing tag-oriented instructions for generation of dynamic content inside the HTML itself. Okay. So that we will simply use tags for writing the dynamic content. Instead of writing a long length of the syntax-oriented Java code, we are writing a simply tag instructions for writing for generation of the dynamic content. So that is a more advantage of JS space over servlets itself. Okay. See that benefits of JS space over servlets. It is easier to write and maintain HTML. Okay. So standard website development tools. Okay. Suppose so we'll be having Drupal tool is there. Okay. So we'll be having different kinds of website development tools. Okay. So using that website development tools, you can able to write JSP code and as well as HTML code also. Okay. So we need not have any JDK or Java installed system. Okay. So that is advantage of JSPs over servlet system. Okay. And then separation of business logic and presentation. Okay. So generally HTML and JSPs can be used for showing the content to the end users. Okay. You are having the content and you want to display this content to the end users using the web pages. So for this we are writing HTML code. So that similar to that HTML, we are writing JSP code here. Okay, so that both JSPs and as well as HTML are used for presenting something to the end users. Okay, so that here we are writing the logic in such a way that we are showing some content to the end user. Okay, so that logic is called as here presentation logic. Okay, so the presentation logic, apart from the presentation logic, we'll be having business logic is there. So actual the logic for writing the application. So that is called as business logic. Okay, and using JSPs and as well as servlets, so both if you use in the projects, so then we can able to separate the business logic and as well as the presentation logic. Okay, so you see this is a pure servlet program. Okay, I just give you the demonstration. So it's a pure servlet program which consists of all business logic and as well as the presentation logic. Okay, so this is class, and inside this do get method, and this do get method we are writing some logic here. So the is order valid, this is the business logic. Save order is the business logic. Okay, so we have two methods, is order valid save order. So like this, all those methods are for business logic operations. Okay. So after performing business logic operations, so that we are writing out.println. This is for presentation logic here. Am I right? Okay. So here, if we are using JSPs and as well as servlets, then it can be able to separate the business logic and as well as the presentation logic. Okay. So this is a servlet. The servlet used for request processing. So generally there are three different phases. Every servlet, every server-side programming. So it is having three different phases of it. The first phase, request processing. Next, business logic execution, and then at last presentation of the content to the end user. Okay, so these three phases are there for every server side programming. Okay, one is request processing, presentation, and as well as business logic. Okay, so that request processing always be done using servlets, and inside the servlet, okay, we are writing a business logic. We are using a business logic operation. This is a business logic operation. It's a pure Java programs. Business logic we can write only using only pure Java programs, and this is a servlet program, and this business logic operations can be used inside the servlets by calling several methods, by creating the objects of the business logic, and then can able to call the different kinds of methods related to the business logic from the objects. So all these things will be done in the servlet. Okay, and after business logic operation done, so then if something to be presented to the end user, so then it will be forwarded to the JSP page. So after request processing, it will be forwarded to the JSP page where we are showing some content to the end user. Okay, so this is the way we can separate the business logic and as well as presentation logic and also the request processing logic using the technologies servlet and as well as JSPs in the projects. So most of the web related projects in Java, so we can include both servlet technology and as well as JSPs technology. Servlet technology used for request processing and JSPs used for presentation logic, and pure Java programs are used for writing the business logic. Okay, so this is a standard way, okay, to develop dynamic web projects using Java technology. Okay, it's a standard procedure here. Okay. Okay. And the JSP lifecycle. So generally we'll be having servlet lifecycle is there. The servlet lifecycle will be having the phases like init, servlet initialization, servlet request processing, and servlet object creation, and then servlet execution, and then presenting the content to the user. Okay, so we'll be having some sort of lifecycle states out there for the servlet. The servlet destroy phase. Okay, so servlet request processing phase. All these phases are there, similar to that phases of servlet lifecycle. We'll be having JSP lifecycle also be there. So I will give the demonstration of each and every phase. So JSP phase translation, JSP phase compilation, and the class loading, execution phase, initialization phase, and JSP service and destroy. So these initialization, service, and destroy methods are related to the server side, are related to the servlet side, and this is for exclusively for JSPs, JSP lifecycle. Okay, see the diagram for JSP lifecycle. So are you able to see the diagram which I am showing for JSP lifecycle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. First phase. Okay. First phase. See, can anyone unmute and tell me what is the first phase has been done?
get/hello.jsp ఫైల్ ని క్లయింట్ నుంచి సర్వర్ కి సెండ్ చేస్తుంది సార్.
Client నుంచి server. Okay, very good. So the client plays a request for getting hello.jsp. Am I right?
ఎస్ సార్.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So client plays a request for getting hello.jsp. Am I right? Okay. So any other student? So what is the second phase is doing?
The server will read the hello.jsp, sir.
From the disk. Am I right?
From the disk.
From the hard disk, the server reads the code of hello.jsp from hard disk. That is the second phase. And what is the third phase?
It will generate .java file servlets.
Very good. Okay, that is very important. Even we are writing JSPs, even we are writing JSP content. Okay, JSP content cannot be handled by servlet. Container. So we'll be having servlet container in the web server. So servlet container to execute, it only knows servlet code. It doesn't know the JSP code. Okay, so but the servlet code should be there in the .java file. Okay, but we are writing JSPs. So for convenience to the programmer, we are writing JSPs, but it should not be known to the servlet container. So the servlet container knows only .java, servlet code, which is there in the .java file. Okay, so here the server, the web server, after reading hello.jsp's, it has to be converted into servlet code, which is .java file. Okay, the servlet code should be again the file name, JSP file name, servlet.java. Okay, so it will automatically generate. So we, as we are the programmer, don't involve in the conversion of the JSPs to the servlet. It will be done automatically by the web server. Okay, after reading the JSP, hello.jsp, it will convert that hello.jsp into the servlet code, which is in the format of .java. That is the third phase. Okay. And the next one is, what is the fourth phase? After .java file generation completed, so then as it is .java, so we have to compile. So then compile phase will be done, will be applied on the hello servlet.java. Am I right? Okay. After compiling, what will we get?
Class file will be
Very
generated,
good.
sir.
Dot class file will be generated. So this dot class file in the phase 5, what will be done? In the phase 5, what will be done?
It will execute and send the information required for the client to the server again, sir.
That is the sixth phase. Okay. In the first phase, execution of the dot class file will be happen. So once executed that servlet, so then request processing will be done. So once request processing is done, then it is indicating that response is generated. That response is sent back to the client in the sixth phase. Okay. So like this, totally, how many phases are there for JSP's life cycle?
6 phases, sir.
6 phases. First phase, request from the client to the server, and concern .jsp file will be read from the disk by the server. In the third phase, generate the .java file correspondingly, and from this .java file, it will be compiled to get hello server, to get .class file. After getting .class file, it will be executed. Once it is executed, so then request processing is done and response is generated, and that response will be sent back to the client in the sixth phase. So this is a JSP's life cycle. Okay. Now, this is a simple way to write a JSP code inside the HTML. Okay. So, at the rate phase JSP file, and the HTML body is HTML5, and JSP use bin and all these things are related to the JSP, and the following information was saved. UL, li is HTML content, and JSP get property is a JSP content. Li email address is HTML. JSP get property is again JSP, and UL close, body close, HTML close related to HTML content. This is the way how we are embedding JSP code into the HTML. Wherever if you want to generate the dynamic content from the server, so you are ready to embed JSP code at that particular place of HTML file. Okay, so you already got the experience of writing PHP code inside the HTML. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, similar to that PHP, here other version of PHP, JSP, but JSPs use Java technology for writing the code. That's only the difference between JSP and PHP. Am I right? Already you got the experience of embedding the PHP code inside the HTML. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, now we have to see JSP tags. So how many JSP tags? Please read out how many number of JSP tags?
3 types, sir.
3 types, okay. So 3 categories of JSP tags. One is directive, scripting tags, and action elements. Okay. So out of these 3 categories, okay, so we'll be having complete tag list is comment tag, scripting tags, declaration tags, directive tags, expression tags, and standard action tags. Okay. So all these tags are categorized into 3 different types. In the directive category, so we have page directive, include directive, tag lib directive. In the scripting tag, we have scriptlets, declaration tag, expression tag, and we have JSP action elements are there. So in this way, the JSP tags are defined. Okay. So we just directly go to the JSP tags, syntaxes, and everything. Okay. The point is here, JSP tags should be starts with angle bracket, percentage, ends with percentage, angle bracket. Wherever in your HTML or wherever in your JSP page, okay, if the tag starts with angle bracket percentage, that indicates it is a JSP tag, and starts with ends with the percentage angle bracket, so that is ending of JSP tag. Am I right? Okay. So generally the HTML tags are starts with only angle bracket and ends with angle bracket, but JSP is angle bracket, percentage, percentage, angle bracket. Okay. So inside this tag enclosing area, so we are writing anything related to Java or otherwise JSPs. Okay. Understood the point? How PHP tags are to be started?
Angular
Less
bracket
than
and closed with an angular bracket. PHP will start from
Angle bracket,
question mark.
mark, sir.
question mark,
PHP.
PHP. Okay. So angle bracket, question mark, PHP is the starting of PHP tag and ends with the question mark angle bracket. That is the ending of PHP. So here percentage, angle bracket percentage, percentage, angle bracket. That's only the difference between JSP tags and PHP tags. Okay. See that. First one, comment tag. Comment tag. So please tell me how comments are to be written in the JSPs. What tag have to use?
Angular bracket percentile hyphen hyphen.
Hyphen, hyphen. Okay. Angle bracket, percentage, hyphen, hyphen. If that tag is written in your JSP, so that will be ignored. So the content inside enclosed within that percentage hyphen, hyphen. So those content will be simply ignored by the JSP compiler. Okay. So for user understandable statements, if you want to write, so those statements we can able to write as a comments in the JSP starts with the percentage hyphen hyphen. Okay. So see the example percentage hyphen hyphen. This is the first JSP application hyphen hyphen percentage angle bracket. Okay. And see the scripting elements. Scripting elements. Okay. Here the script, nothing but just like a code, Java code. Assume it is a Java code. So these scripting elements are exclusively used for writing pure Java code. Otherwise, code Java code. Used for writing code Java code. Okay. So these scripting tags are percentage and closed with the percentage angle bracket. We have 3 different categories of scripting elements: scriptlets, declarations, and expressions. Scriptlet, declarations, and expressions. Okay. So see the syntaxes of each and every tag. Declarations tag. Declaration tag. Please tell me declaration tag. How the declaration tag look like? How the declaration tag is?
Angular symbol,
Hmm.
Percentile and exclamatory marks.
Very good. Exclamatory. Angle bracket, percentage, exclamatory, and should be closed with the percentage angle bracket. Closed with percentage angle bracket. Okay. So this declaration tag generally used for declaring any kind of variables or the objects or any kind of resources in your JSP. Okay. See that. First example, see the first example, percentage exclamatory int a comma b semicolon, int a comma b semicolon. Okay. So inside this scripting, a, b variables are declared with integer, and this is exclamatory, percentage exclamatory, date d equal to new date. We are creating d as an object of date. Am I right? And this is the third example, percentage exclamatory. Here I am declaring one function. Get system time is one function I'm defining here. Okay. So I'm defining the code return calendar dot get instance dot get time dot toString. Okay. So we are declaring at the same time we are defining the code for the function also. Okay. Inside the declaration statement. So please the declaration statement is used for declaring objects or variables or the function definition also. Okay, that is the purpose declaration tags. And see that expression tags. Expression tag used for evaluating any kind of expressions in the JSPs. It should be starts with equal to, percentage equal to, percentage equal to. So you can write any kind of expressions directly inserted into equal to symbol. Okay, see that percentage equal to new java.util.calendar.getTime. Okay, it will print directly in the JSP page. If you use percentage equal to, so then whatever the value that is written from the get time, that will be printed directly if you use percentage equal to. And see that percentage equal to 2 into 3 plus 4 and 4 minus 5 into 6 plus 7 into 8 minus 9. Okay, but after evaluating this expression, if you get the answer, that answer will be printed directly at that place itself. That is a use of percentage equal to. Okay, got the point? Directive elements. So directive tags generally used for if any packages, if you want to import into your program, okay, then we can use the directive elements. Okay. Or otherwise, suppose if we want to setting the configuration parameters for the JSP page, we can use the directive elements. Okay, suppose if we want to perform error handling operations in JSPs, we have to use the directive elements like that. Okay, so uses for directive elements, importing, setting the JSP page, include any other resources pages. It may be either JSP page or HTML page or any kind of error pages. If you have, so if you want those pages included into your JSP page, we can use directive elements. But directive elements are starts with at the rate of, percentage at the rate of. Okay, so far, how many kinds of JSP tags we have learned? Please list out how many tags we have learned.
Three types of tags.
That is equal to
Comments, hyphen.
hyphen. Okay.
Declarative tag with exclamatory mark.
Exclamatory. Okay. So these are the tags we have already learned. And directive element starts with at the rate of. And so there are three different tags inside this at the rate of tags. Okay. The first one is at the rate of paste, at the rate of include, at the rate of tag. At the rate of paste used for including any other kind of resource pages like JSP page or even HTML pages we want to include into JSP. So then we can use at the rate of paste. And we have at the rate of include. Okay, so this also used for including the specific kind of resources into JSP page. And we have tag lib. So user-defined tags we can able to define using JSPs. Okay. So that user-defined tags we can write into the tag library. Okay. So after defining defining user defined tags in the tag library, if you want to import that kind of tag libraries, so we have to use at the rate of tag library. So you have to specify the file name where all user defined tags have been defined. Okay, so these are the different three different kinds of directive elements. Out of this, we have to use very frequently at the rate of paste and at the rate of include directive only. Okay. So on the standard action elements are there. So these standard action elements generally we have starts with the JSP colon. Standard action elements should be starts with JSP colon. Okay. So JSP colon use being JSP colon set property, JSP colon get property, JSP colon param, include, forward, plugin. So all these kinds of elements. So if you use these action elements, so then it will perform some sort of actions related to that operation which is dedicated for that particular action element. Okay, and these action elements starts with JSP colon like that.